Born Adam Michael Spivak London. He was the son of Father Howie and Mother Barbara. Adam had a twin sister Elizabeth, as well as two other siblings, Eric and Katie. His tragedy is our warning.
So if you don't mind, what is the Promise to Adam campaign?
My son, Adam, died on August 23rd in a car accident. It was 9:46 at night. It was less than a mile from my house. It was a rainy night, so the roads were slick. He was driving fast, not wearing a seat belt. The car skidded to avoid a parked car. He lost control of it and hit a tree and was thrown into the back and died instantly. My son was a normal kid. He wasn't a crazy kid, and he wasn't a geek. He was kind of in your basic fun-loving kid. Adam was a very typical 17-year-old. When he played on the lacrosse team, he was more concerned about what other kids did than what he did. He really focused on his friends. He had a girlfriend, really had loved the thrill of life. He really was passionate about having fun. He was often the center of attention. He loved having the kids in our house, sort of having small groups of kids. But he was also the boy who, when his friends had issues, concerns, had girlfriend trouble in school, he was the person they talked to.
Some choices we make, some mistakes we make as a young person have minor consequences. You skip a class at school, you get caught, you get in trouble, you can't play in the next football game. Mm-hmm. That may feel earth-rending when it happens and awful. If you speed, if you go 50 or 60 miles per hour on a secondary street on a rainy night without your seatbelt on and you wreck, you die potentially.
Adam was the varsity lacrosse goalkeeper at Newton North High School, one of the best keepers in the state. This is the tree that ended his career.
He was a good lacrosse goalie, so he had pretty fast reflexes. We realized that Adam wasn't the only one who was not driving safely, and it could have been any one of them, and it could still be any one of them. He did, it is true, had his license only for 5 weeks, but he'd been driving for a very long time. And, if the sad part for me was that I really did delay his getting his license and his independence, and he had really worked very hard to show me that he was a safe, thoughtful, and reliable person. And he made a mistake, and it was probably, 2 minutes of bad decision making that killed him.
Feeling this pain, and as I said, how far out it resonates and how many people it affects, it is a selfless act. It is thinking of other people in your family and beyond, to wear your seatbelt and to drive, a reasonable speed. You shouldn't have to go through the death of your best friend at age 17. Yeah. And an interesting story is that Jared was not with Adam that night, Jared being my son, because I had grounded him. He said, I realized I did something wrong, but Mom, you're just overreacting. He said, nothing bad ever happens. You always think the worst thing is going to happen. The friends are really devastated by the loss of Adam, and the friends of friends, and the families of these friends, and Adam's extended family, and the Newton North community, and the Newton South community, and it's a devastating event. and it's an event that can be prevented.
I'm, as a parent, not foolish enough to think that people aren't going to go out and party, but party safely. I saw Adam at 9:15, 9:20 at night. He had been at a friend's. He came home to change his clothes. I went upstairs and, had a brief conversation. Where are you going? Are you planning to come home tonight? Because he had no work or school the next day. It was August 23rd. Will you be home by curfew, 12:30? And the answer was, yes, I'm just going locally, and I'll be home between 12 and 12:30. Bye, Mom. No hug, nothing. He walked out the door. It's inconceivable to most people that can happen.
With the promise, we want people to, in honor of Adam, think about what they're doing. Just take a few seconds to think before they get in a car. Make the right choices, wear your seatbelt, very simple things that will in fact save your life.
It also asks that teenagers not just do it themselves, but prevent their friends from getting in the car. And if you know your friend isn't safe or is texting or drinking or driving too fast, to stop them.
Make the promise form, which is both a paper form and also something you can do online. It asks for an affirmative promise. Just make a promise about, and again, in honor of Adam, and the promise that he held out for the world that is now gone. Make a promise of any type. Maybe a lot of people write, I promise to abide by these promises, or I promise to help my friends out in a tough situation. But I get all kinds of interesting promises. I'm going to be nicer to people around me. I'm going to speak to my parents when I am upset so I don't get depressed. I got one from a grandmother who said I'm going to help my grandson with his learning disabilities. And it's very beautiful the way people pour out these thoughts and promises.
For more information on the promise to Adam, please go to this website. Make your promise to Adam. www.apromisetoadam.org. I promise never to ride in a car without using a seatbelt. Never to drive too fast because where I'm going will be there, whether I'm 5 minutes early or 50 minutes late. Never to drive after drinking, even the smallest amount, because I cannot understand how impaired I may be. Never to drive after putting anything in my body that may limit my ability to think, understand, and react. Perhaps hardest of all, to stop my friends when they try to do any of the above. Take away their keys, call their parents, call a cab, wrestle them to the ground if necessary, whatever it takes. These things I promise to you, Adam. Adam Michael Spivak, London. Finally, thinking of Adam and his great promise to the world, I pledge to do the following. Please make a promise to improve your own life or the lives of those around you.